Welcome to your weekend focus, February the 15th and the 16th, 2020. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all of the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Oh, we had a card turn over here. Okay. No, it's a perfect card for the devil energy. The Ten of Wands popped out. And the devil energy is so often an energy that is telling you that something is near completion in your life, ending, and that something new is on the horizon. And so often we get a glimpse of that something new that can be in our life, and then the car breaks down, or you get an unexpected bill in the mail, or the washing machine breaks, or you have a trip and fall that lays you up for a couple of weeks, or something happens that puts you right back where you were, and you weren't able to step into that opportunity or that new energy that is surrounding you. So the Ten of Wands pops out, which is very much a card where we are struggling to walk here. We have this heavy load on our back, this heavy burden, and we are trying to make it to the castle, to the future, walking our path step by step, day by day. And so we need to take a breath here, and we need to stop. We need to unpack that bag of wands and look at them. Now, some of these wands have beautiful growth. Others are deadwood, and yet we carry them around with us. So by analyzing these things in our life, by looking at these things in our life, by getting to know ourselves a little bit better, we can actually leave some of that behind us. Put closure on something, complete something, move past something, heal from something, so that we can stand a little bit more upright, that we can greet that new experience head on and embrace it and walk into it. So sometimes we unconsciously allow for our energy to lower, which does not bring in joy, which does not bring in happiness. February the 16th, well, if we boil down the February the 15th, it would be a 12, right? It would be a 12 and a 3. Now, we've been walking that energy the entirety of last year. We had to learn how to be the 12 energy. We had to learn how to incorporate the 3 energy into our life. So the 12 energy is the hangman, to be in the moment, to just be, to accept things as they are, to release control or surrender in some way. And 1 plus 2 is 3, which is the child, the empress, birth of opportunities, new beginnings. We have the curiosity of a child again. We're playful, we're happy, we're always experimenting, trying something new, trying something different, trying to learn everything at once. We'll have the sun in Aquarius for both days, and we will have the moon in Scorpio on Saturday. I believe somewhere around, the wee hours of the morning or the late hours of the night, the moon will move into Sagittarius, and we'll have a real transformation in the moon's energy, obviously, and what we're feeling as Sunday rolls around. The numerology of the 16th is the Tower card. And the Tower card is tearing down walls. I have a beautiful friend, and she was doing some tarot card readings. We were working through a learning experience. I was trying to show her the cards and everything, and then she was doing her own reading. And she said, take those bricks, and instead of building walls, build pathways. And I thought, oh, how beautiful is that? So I'm going to steal that from her and use that continually, because I just love that perception. The Tower card comes in and takes away, tears down a wall, turns it into rubble. So it takes a part of our life and completely pulls the rug from underneath our feet. It can bring in chaos, disruption. We could be fighting between our feelings and our thoughts, be very indecisive, or um, anxiety can creep in because we don't have the clarity and the understanding. So when the tower comes in, know first and foremost that the tower will never come in and take something away from you that you desperately need in order to go forward, or you just need, not even desperately need, you need in order to go forward. It will never take away something, but it will take away things that perhaps you think you need in order to put you on your path forward. To take those bricks that once formed a wall and build a pathway with them. 1 plus 6 is a 7, and it's very much about standing in our truth. We have the moon in Sagittarius for Sunday, and happy birthday, Sylvia, if I understood all the emojis right. Um, the moon in Sagittarius gives us more of an optimistic view. We feel more alive, more vibrant. We're willing to learn. We're seeking for education, experiences, opportunities, journeys. Absolutely. The Sag energy is one that, there's a fire behind it, or a fire within it, I should say, that kind of gives us that energy and that optimism. So go out, plan something for Sunday that's fun and exciting to do. Maybe something that involves a learning experience as well. Maybe a hands-on museum or something, a science museum perhaps, or the zoo. Like go out and learn something. Go out and educate yourself. If you're in Ohio, go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Learn something. Take in something, because it's beautiful energy for that. It's also a very collective energy. So it's more about not just you, but it's everybody. So if they're having a good time, you're having a good time kind of energy. We do have Mercury retrograde starting on the 16th as well. Now, okay, things break down. My computer will go on the fritz 50 times in the next couple of weeks for me. It has already, just in the shadow period. I knew Mercury retrograde was coming up when my computer first went crazy on me. I'm thinking, oh, we must be nearing the shadow period, and sure enough, we were. Um, you know, Unexpected delays when you're traveling. That's quite common in a Mercury retrograde. It doesn't necessarily mean that you should put your life on hold, though. Some people get that, don't sign contracts. And, well, you can sign a contract, but although I probably would try and not sign a contract during the Mercury retrograde. But if there was a contract and I needed to sign it, I would make sure that I read over the fine print. I'd ask the questions that needed to be asked in order to know exactly what I was signing. Making sure that there weren't any loopholes or things that I was assuming rather than written into the paperwork. Making major decisions is not, something that is. So maybe it's good that we're a little indecisive this weekend, because we don't really want to make those big decisions right now in a Mercury retrograde. But if you've been thinking long and hard and you've got your information, then chances are it's okay to. But so what happens is Mercury goes through a sign, and then it goes back over that, and then it comes through again. So there definitely is information that is hiding on us right now that we will understand or come to understand or grow in meaning as we walk through the retrograde. And as the retrograde ends, we have the clarity and the understanding. So I guess if you are buying big purchase items or something, make sure that there is a receipt, a good return policy. Well, the star was at the bottom there. Let's cut the cards and see what we have for this weekend. And also, I don't thank you enough for your likes, for subscribing, for your comments. Thank you, truly. And my kids tell me that I'm supposed to tell you to ring the bell. So if you ring the bell, and it should be somewhere right near me or something. If you ring the bell, then the minute my videos come online so that you don't miss me, or you're sitting around and you're waiting. You don't have to. You can go and do something else with your time, and you will be notified every time I put out a video for you. Look at this. We start with the Page of Wands. The world is your oyster. You can have, become anything. This is a time we are contemplating our future. It's almost like we're wiping the slate clean and saying, okay, exactly where am I, and what am I going to design going forward in my life? How am I going to transform? What am I going to step into? What commitments am I going to make to myself or to others? What do I truly want going forward? And there's, wands are usually, they involve an action of some sort. So at least, at some point during the weekend, write down a list of the things that you want to accomplish over the next week, month, year. We have a very stark and very bland background here. We can put anything there, anything we want. We can design it. There's nothing already formed there to say we have to work around it. So a clean slate. We have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is knowing that you have that sage wisdom. And that sage wisdom is there to give you balance. So many times we look on the outside for the answers, but truly with this card, we want to look on the inside, or maybe turn to God, our angels, or spirit guides, source, for the answers. This is tapping into your, it's a spiritual knowing. That you have the information, that you have the answers, that you have the values and the knowledge of what really needs to transpire in order to bring in balance, in order to bring in happiness. And he sits there so nonchalantly that, I heard the word patience, so I'm not sure, but we must have more of a patience. Or maybe we can take it back a little bit. We're not so reactive. And we're pulling back our energy a little bit to really think things through before we make a move, before we say a word, before we enable an action. We have the Four of Wands. Well, this is the wedding and proposal, so maybe some of you are having a little getaway during the weekend for Valentine's Day, and you get proposed to. That could very well happen with this card. It's right in the middle too. Marriage proposal. This could be when we are aligning ourselves with new business partners, new best friends, new soulmates, or celebrating those people in our life. And looking towards the future on what you're going to build together, what you are going to create together going forward. Here we've stuck 4 wands in the ground and a little bit of garland over top. So yeah, we've got the foundation. And this is celebrating that foundation and wanting to grow from it. Thus proposals, thus the marriage. So if you are not in a relationship or any kind of commitment there, you can make the commitment to yourself. You can grow that dream, that desire. Knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you are beautiful, knowing that you have what it takes. Tap into your spiritual wisdom there. You do have a clean slate this weekend to grow that dream. It's not really full moon energy. I don't think we're enacting upon that, but I think this is a time to really look forward and know that we have the capabilities to go in the direction we want, and even celebrate where we've gotten to up to this point. 4 of Cups. The word complacent comes out again in my head. So, we get a little bit like, well, we get complacent with the things we have, our environments, the people who surround us. And so we need to look around and be grateful. And if we're not grateful for something, this is beautiful energy to get rid of it then. So, junk is junk. Trash is trash. Clutter is clutter. But really look at those things that you have in your life that support you, that make your life easier. Maybe it's, you're happy you got a toothbrush. When's the last time you were thrilled to see your toothbrush there? But it's there for you, and we just expect it to be there for you. But, what happens when it accidentally falls in the toilet? Man, we're grateful for that we had that new toothbrush stuck away. It can be the little mundane things. It doesn't have to be giant. It doesn't have to be big. It can just be celebrating the smallest of things in your life. But the things that are there consistently, and that we don't even think about, we just expect them to be there day after day. What if you had, all your your summer furniture down in the basement, you get a flood and it's ruined, right? You weren't very grateful about that furniture until you had to replace that furniture. I was very grateful. I loved my couch, but Dylan, within the first week, took it as his enemy. And he did a very good job of destroying the couch completely in my absence. And I didn't realize how much I loved that couch until I had to take the Sawzall to it to get out of the door. The Ten of Pentacles, it's the S card. Yeah, it's really about growing your dreams. It's really about understanding, and not even so much the growth part of it, but understanding that you can do this. Understanding that you can go forward. And knowing that you will have the patience and the perseverance to do exactly as you want. This is the Yes card. Now, we could be partnering with somebody. We could be making a commitment to somebody to be in part of our life. We have the Hierophant there, but I believe that's the High Priestess walking away, talking about your inner magic. So if you're tapping into your inner magic this weekend, and you're tapping into your sage wisdom this weekend, and you're putting it together, you can actually evolve a plan, a strategy on how to step into the things you want. If it's a new relationship, then maybe you need a redo. Maybe you need to change your routine into going into new places. Asking your friends to invite you over if you're kind of having a big dinner party or something. Please. Maybe it's socializing with purpose. Trying to be at the right place at the right time with the right people, because they all hang out there. Or there's a conference. Or there's a seminar. This is the Yes card. This says you can have the success that you want, the happiness, the joy, the well-being, the balance, the beautiful relationship, the good health, the sound sleeps. Whatever your definition of abundance is, this is the card that says it's around the corner. And this is a beautiful weekend with the energy of the cards to... My computer just went on me, but I know how to work through it, so I will, okay? This is a beautiful energy where we have like a clean slate, tapping into our sage wisdom, tapping into our inner magic, understanding how we can strategize a plan to step into exactly what we want going forward. We're at a stage in the full moon. I think we're probably at the about halfway before we enter the new moon energy. So it is a time of reflection. It is a time to really think things through. How far have I gotten? What has hindered me? What is, because remember, we have the 15th and 16th as energies for the numerology. So we want to understand, where we can tear down that wall ourselves and build a new path. Absolutely. Let's get a well-being card. Cut the deck, and we have... I am selfish enough to want to feel good. I am selfish enough to want to feel good. Which is basically, not allowing other people's dramas to suck you in, to pull you in, and lessen your energy, lessen your happiness, lessen your joy. There's some people that just like to vent, okay? Um, you know, and they just, it's like them throwing up all over you. They just, oh, you feel, when you leave their presence. They're feeling good because they got everything off their chest. They're feeling fabulous. But you walk away with that energy. So be a little bit selfish enough to just say, no, I'm not putting up with that negativity today. I'm not stepping into it. I'm not listening to it. I'm not inviting it in, nor am I walking into it. That I control my surroundings today. I control the people that are around me today. I control the atmosphere that is around me today. I create my own joy, and I'm selfish enough to do it on a continuous basis. Feeling good indicates your connection to clarity, wellness, and abundance in all good things. Feeling good is your most natural core belief. So feeling good, feeling happy, these are our well-being cards. So how do we feel good each and every day? By striving to bring happiness and joy into our life. Now you can do that by sitting there and strategizing a plan on going forward. Especially if you were working with somebody, because there's a lot here about the connection with another. So, maybe you're bouncing ideas off of each other and it grows from that. Something that you only had half a vision of and they had half a vision, you put it together and it's like, wow, wouldn't that be amazing? So that's the kind of wonderful energy that we can have. Be selfish enough, okay? I once read a thing where God was, doling out parents for special needs children. Then along came an autistic child, and God said, "Well, give it, and I'll just use me since I had two of them, Tilly, and Tilly will be a good mom." And the angels are kind of sitting there, and Tilly, really? Well, do you really think she's up for it? And so there was, definition after definition after definition of why Tilly would make a good parent. It was all the things that you wouldn't think about. But one of them was, well, she's a little selfish. She likes to do things on her own. She's very independent, and, she likes her life in a certain way. And, an autistic child is very demanding. And it was, a mother would only survive having an autistic child if they took time for themselves, if they were selfish enough to find their own inner happiness whenever they could. And so I remember too, I'd put myself on timeouts. I'd tell the kids that I was very bad and that I was to go and sit in the bathroom and think about it. And I'd have a beautiful bubble bath. It'd only be like 5 or 10 minutes. But they'd all sit in quiet going, "Oh, mom's in trouble." And then I'd come out and, I'd be all happy and shiny and clean. And it was my 5 or 10 minutes of sanity where I could just sit there and just breathe for 5 minutes without anything. So that was one of my little getaways from my kids, because I was the parent. Although my parents, my mom and dad, helped me tremendously. We'll get an animal card. So be a little bit selfish. Find little ways that you can be selfish of your time, your energy, your resources, and your energy itself. Call on your angels. The angel fish shows up. Call on your angels. Awakened visions, dreams, clairaudience, and water. An angel can illuminate the thought and mind of man by strengthening the power of vision and by bringing within his reach some truth which the angel himself contemplate. So by whispering in your ear. So pay attention to those little thoughts that you have, the things that catch your eye. Angel Fish reassures you that your angels are around you all the time. They have been trying to get through to you and offer love, healing, and guidance for you. You may not see the angels as you believe they ought to look. They can come in the form of a human stranger or an animal. It will be a positive and enlightening experience that may add more questions, but in time, the answers will appear. Your dreams may be extra prophetic and intense with messages, or you may have been hearing the messages as if you've been thinking to yourself. You may also be hearing a message through music or song that has a deeper meaning, or by having vivid visions. These messages are to help awaken you and not scare you. Your angels ask that you call on them to assist with your life's pressures. You don't need to know their names, only request the assistance and be specific in your request so that they can immediately go to work on your behalf. Angelfish tells you that you're being stubborn and attempting to go against the flow instead of with the current. It may be time for you to take a trip to a location where there is plenty of water, where you can sink your toes into the sand and stare into the depths of the water, or maybe just have a bubble bath or something like that. Get around water. So where you're having difficulty, where you're having conflict, where you're feeling anxiety, where your thoughts and your feelings may be in complete conflict with each other, which brings about anxieties and fears and depressions and moodiness, ask your angels. Ask your angels for the answers. Ask the angels for clues to go forward. Ask the angels for help, support, and love, and they'll be there, absolutely, to guide you going forward. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.